If you have heard about Virginia's Cannabis Equity Fund but are not sure whether it can actually help you, you are not alone. Many people hear words like grants, scholarships, and equity, but never find clear answers about who qualifies or where the support really comes from. Today, we are breaking down exactly how Virginia's Cannabis Equity Fund programs work and how they may apply to your situation. Here's the context and why this exists. Virginia lawmakers acknowledged that cannabis prohibition caused long-term economic and social harm in certain communities. Rather than focusing only on legalization, the state created equity programs designed to reinvest resources into education, workforce development, reentry support, and business opportunity. These programs are not managed by one office. They are spread across multiple agencies, each with a specific role. Understanding those roles is how you determine whether these programs can help you personally. The Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Board and how it helps you. The Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Board is the central oversight body created by Virginia law. This board does not hand out money directly to individuals. Instead, it decides how equity funds are allocated across programs. What this means for you is this. If you are looking for scholarships, job training, workforce programs, or reentry support, this board determines which types of programs receive funding. If funding exists for a program, it is because this board authorized it. This matters because it confirms these programs are legally required, not optional. The Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund and direct benefits. The Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund is the main funding source. Here is how it can help different people. If you are a student or considering vocational training, this fund supports scholarships and educational assistance programs. If you are seeking job training or career placement, the fund supports workforce development, apprenticeships, and employment programs. If you are re-entering society after involvement with the criminal justice system, the fund supports reentry services and job placement assistance. If you need legal representation and cannot afford it, part of this funding supports the Virginia Indigent Defense Commission. These are practical supports, not theoretical benefits. The role of the Virginia Cannabis Control Authority. The Virginia Cannabis Control Authority is the agency that turns policy into action. While it does not directly mail out checks, it helps administer social equity programs tied to cannabis policy. How this helps you. If you are interested in future cannabis-related business opportunities, this agency provides technical assistance and training. If you need help understanding compliance, licensing requirements, or regulatory expectations, this is the agency creating those educational resources. If you want to be prepared before opportunities open, this agency's programs are how you build that readiness. The Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion plays a critical administrative role. Equity funds cannot be released without authorization from this office. For you, this matters because it ensures programs must meet equity standards before funding is distributed. This office helps ensure funds are not diverted away from their intended purpose. While it may slow the process, it also protects program integrity. The Virginia Indigent Defense Commission and legal support. Many people do not realize equity funding also supports legal defense services. The Virginia Indigent Defense Commission receives funding to represent individuals who cannot afford an attorney. This helps people dealing with criminal justice involvement move forward without being financially overwhelmed. It is a foundational support that affects housing, employment, and family stability. The Cannabis Equity Business Loan Fund and financial access. For those interested in business ownership, the Cannabis Equity Business Loan Fund is one of the most concrete resources. This fund provides low-interest or zero-interest loans to qualified social equity applicants. This is not a grant, but it is capital access that many people cannot get through traditional banks. For some, this is the difference between participating in a regulated industry or being permanently excluded. Beyond state agencies, equity programs also work with nonprofits and local organizations. These partners provide training, mentorship, networking, and reentry support. For viewers, this means support often exists locally, not just at the state level. In areas like Norfolk and Hampton Roads, community-based organizations can be an entry point into equity resources. Examples of organizations that have been publicly involved in cannabis equity-related work in Virginia include the Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition, which has provided training programs, educational boot camps, and policy-focused resources aimed at individuals from historically impacted communities. BIPOCAN, a national organization with activity in Virginia, which focuses on education, networking, and business development support for Black, Indigenous, and people of color interested in regulated cannabis industries. No Left Turns, a Virginia-based organization focused on reentry support, mentoring, and justice reform, which aligns with equity goals related to workforce development and reintegration after incarceration. It is important to understand that these organizations do not replace state agencies, and they do not control equity funding. Instead, they often act as delivery partners, educators, or referral points for people seeking access to training, mentorship, or support services. For viewers, this means equity support may exist at the local or community level, even when state programs feel distant or difficult to navigate. It also means that available resources can change over time as partnerships evolve, funding cycles shift, or new organizations become involved. Scenario example. Imagine a Norfolk resident who was impacted by past drug enforcement and is now seeking stable employment. They may qualify for workforce training funded by the Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Fund. That training may be delivered through a nonprofit partner. Oversight comes from the Equity Board. Funding approval comes through the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This is how multiple agencies intersect to support one person. Why this matters to you. Many people miss these opportunities because they assume cannabis equity only applies to business owners. In reality, these programs support education, employment, reentry, and legal stability. Knowing where support comes from helps you ask the right questions and avoid misinformation. What to watch next? Virginia continues to refine its cannabis framework. Future legislative sessions may expand, limit, or restructure these programs. Staying informed helps you prepare instead of reacting. We will continue tracking these changes and explaining what they mean for real people. Question for the audience. Which type of support do you think matters most right now? Education, workforce training, reentry services, or business funding? Put your answer in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this.